Hey, what's up, guys? It's Russo with Backdoor Fantasy Sports, and I'm back. It actually did not take that long for me to locate the picks that I'm excited about for this Monday Night Football game. We got the San Francisco 49ers versus the Carolina Panthers. We're playing in San Francisco. We got a little bit of a revenge game narrative for Christian McCaffery. So I got 4 picks on PrizePicks, and we're going to go ladders tonight, even though it's a single game slate, because I'm liking the lines we're getting, and there is some upside here. We've actually got a 49.5 point over under, so high scoring is what they're projecting, 7.5 point spread. So it could shape up to be a really fun Monday night. We're going to break into all of these. Let's talk about the plays real quick. So we got Christian McCaffrey fantasy score. I've got other plays for McCaffrey I'm going to break down too. I know some of you guys play on platforms that don't have fantasy score, so I'm going to show you the other plays I like as well. But we're going to go Tetairoa McMillan over 5 receptions. George Kittle, we're taking the fantasy score as well. I'll also show some pivots that I like. And then we're going to go Rico Dowdle receiving yards. This was pretty cut and dry when I dove into Outlier. And then for ladders, if you haven't played ladders yet on Underdog, I know some of you guys who watch the show all the time, you're like, I've heard you explain this a million times, but for the new viewers, I got to let them know what we're doing here. So you get 3 different tiers. So every player you pick, it's like only yardage plays, passing, rushing, receiving. It's limited in that regard, but it's because ladders is its own type of game and it's amazing. So you get 3 tiers. If all of your players hit the first tier, which is like a goblin style play, then you get 2.5x. So you're locked in. Now, if they all hit the middle tier, which is like your regular lines, then you're going to get 10x. So you're jumped up there. But here's where the magic happens. If they all hit their top line, it jumps up to 1000x. So I promise you, there's not going to be an insured play on PrizePicks for football tonight that you can get up to 1000x. Show me, put it in the comments if you can make it happen. I bet you can. So to be able to have just a 5-man jump to 1000x while you're insured, if they don't all hit, like you could just, tier by tier, you get why I love it. So here's what we're going with. We're going to go Christian McCaffrey here, rushing yards. His lines are 55, 73, and 120. Then we're going to go Tetairoa McMillan, receiving yards, 50, 66, 120. Then we got Brian Robinson. So I'm going to go keeping it with the run game for San Francisco here. Brian Robinson, his line is a little bit lower, 15, 25, and 60. So he could definitely do that. We got Xavier Legette, the other wide receiver. Honestly, Carolina's wide receivers, they got a pretty nice little stack here of young wide receivers with a lot of upside. But yeah, Xavier Legette, we got 15, 24, and 60. And then Jalen Coker, 20, 29, and 70. Very doable. Now, it's hard to hit 1000x. I know. There's a reason that they're willing to pay you 1000x if these cash. But we're going to hit it one of these days, guys. I got to say I'm optimistic. We'll see. If we get it, we deserve it, because that's a hard thing to hit. But the math is adding up here. Like if both running backs hit, that's less than 200 yards on the ground, right? Yeah, 180 total, doable. And then we've got 120, 60 makes 180, plus another 70, 250, 250 receiving yards. That's doable. So I feel good about it. If you haven't signed up for Underdog yet, use code BACKDOOR. You will get $100 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. You can jump into stuff like this, ladders, which is my favorite, just because it's like one of a kind. They also have streaks. We got NBA plays live for today as well. That video is linked down below. We have a streaks play on there. Underdog has a lot of these fun fantasy style games, and they've got regular stuff as well. Depending on the state that you're in, they've got like sportsbook options and different things like that. But they've got fantasy, all sorts of DFS stuff, and they've got these original games that I'm a big fan of. So go check it out. And then we've got Chalkboard, another killer platform. If you use code BACKDOOR on Chalkboard, they've got alt lines, discounts, promos. They run promos and discounts every single day of the week. So definitely jump on Chalkboard. Code BACKDOOR will get you a free pick to help you cash your first slip, plus 100% deposit match that you can stack up all the way to $100. Put 100 in, you get 200 to play with. You're good to go for a while. And then Sleeper is running killer specials right now. Use code BACKDOORFS. Make sure you add the FS on the end there to get the discount. or to get the promo, you're going to get a $20 entry with no deposit required. So $20 play. And then you get a protected play and you get a deposit match. That's down below as well if you want to make sure you're putting the code in right. And if you use any of my codes, hit me at the email I have linked down there as well. And I'm going to give you a free month on our premium Discord, just for being cool, just for hooking me up a little bit with some support. So, all right, do not forget to like the video. We're going to go over some bonus plays at the end of the video here on the DFS optimizer from Daily Grind. But yes, do me a favor, like the video. And if you have a hype option, hit that hype button. It just helps me get in front of a larger audience. It's all I'm asking of you guys. Press a button. It's super easy. Okay. So yeah, we're going to go over the DFS optimizer plays at the end. Let's take a look here. So yeah, like I mentioned, 49.5 point over under playing in San Francisco, and then San Francisco favored by just 7.5. Panthers are kind of sneaky. They really are. I would put them in sort of like, I mean, I think they have less skill players than Atlanta, but I think they're probably maybe better than Atlanta right now. They're right there in that ballpark, you know. And then San Francisco, they're just always solid. They're one of those teams that, like, regardless of their situation, they're going to make a playoff push, or they have a chance to push for it. But it's a tough division though, so we'll see about that. But solid team though, so it should be a good game. Once I dove into the research, I'm like, I'm really excited about this game. I also need Christian McCaffery to go ham tonight because I'm up by 10 in my dynasty league. We're getting near playoffs. I'm already clinched for playoffs. I'm trying to lock in that first round bye. But I got McCaffery. I'm up by 10, and my opponent, Luke, if you're not watching, he doesn't know I have this show, but he's got Tetairoa, McMillan, and he's got San Francisco defense. So I need McCaffery to go nuts tonight. And he's capable of doing it. Dude's been scoring a ton of touchdowns. So let's talk about the fantasy score. So cleared it 6 out of 10 games of his last 10. Let's look at 2025 in general. 6 out of 11 total. Got a couple spike games here. I really hope this revenge narrative means something. I know he's like cool. He likes the people in Carolina. I went and saw Shane Gillis with my wife. His live stand-up, and he had Christian McCaffery hanging out. I live in North Carolina, so anyways, I thought it was cool. McCaffery is coming out and bringing Shane Gillis beers and stuff and hanging out. George Kittle was there too. It was pretty dope. We didn't know they were going to be there. Anyways, so yeah, I hope there's a revenge narrative there, even though he's really cool to the people in North Carolina still, and he's not like, you know, they parted on good terms. But so yeah, when he pops off, he's definitely capable, and this line is set high, but I think the touchdowns, I think he's getting in the end zone at least once, but I think this might be a multiple touchdown game against his old team. Let's look at the matchup specifically for touchdowns. So he had 3 last week against Arizona, against my Cardinals, none against the Rams. They're tough. But yeah, the last 3 games that he did score, he had at least 2 touchdowns. Now you got Carolina, who's ranked 19th, so below average on allowing touchdowns to running backs. They allow at least 1 a game throughout 12 weeks. This is week 12, so 11 weeks. And they haven't had their bye yet. Neither has San Francisco. So yeah, that's a solid figure there. 1 is what running backs are doing. So the matchup looks good. Let's see down here. So a lot of the props that Outlier's picking up here, we'll pay attention to some of them, but some of them are like, okay, yeah, that's not that big of a deal. So the big names are getting in the end zone. So Bijan Robinson had 2 last time they played. Tyler Algier, same game, he had a touchdown as well. So their running backs combined for 3 touchdowns in that game. Now we're talking Audric Estime, who is like, is he even getting snaps? He just got to New Orleans. He's like, he's also on my dynasty team, on my taxi squad, and he's probably going to get dropped next year. Alvin Kamara, he did not get in the end zone. And then Devin Neal, another like no-namer who is due to injury working his way into some snaps. So we don't really care if Estime and Neal didn't get in. Emmanuel Wilson didn't. He was the backup. during that time before Josh Jacobs got injured on November 2nd, and Josh Jacobs did get in the end zone. Then you got no-namers Chris Brooks, Ty Johnson. He's been doing well for us though on the receiving yards, but James Cook had 2 touchdowns. So the big names are getting multiple touchdowns is what we're looking at. These are the most recent touchdown props against Carolina. So we like that. Let's look at the receiving yards options because I know a bunch of you guys are on the receiving yards for McCaffery. Yeah, he's a great pass catcher. 9 out of 11 games in 2025. He's beat the 49.5 point line, which is right around what the platforms are dropping it at. Matchup wise, middle of the road, 14th in receiving yards allowed to running backs, about just under 30 receiving yards to running backs per game. But let's see down here. But yeah, Bijan cashed his, Alvin Kamara cashed his, Devin Neal cashed his. When it was at 5.5, he got 9. So he was able to at least catch the ball, get a little bit of yards. Josh Jacobs went for 13. So it's not like we're seeing guys really pop off, but they're cashing their lines. So I'm not like overly excited about the receiving yards for McCaffery. I would much rather just take the rushing yards if I'm not going fantasy score. Let's take a look there. Now, I know it's the same thing. It's sort of spiky. The line at 69.5, I think, is good, though, because the matchup is solid. 21st in rushing yards allowed. Just under 100 rushing yards a game is what Carolina is giving up to running backs. Overall, about 113. So most of that is going to the running back position. And then let's go down here. See why I like the rushing a little bit better. Bijan, who is awesome. He's like the new CMC. He's not at CMC status yet, but same archetype, but very heavily utilized in the pass game. And he was still able to run all over North Carolina, or Carolina Panthers. 74.5 was his line. He went for 104. Alvin Kamara, who has not been doing much. I still love Kamara. He, I think, should be a Hall of Famer. But his line, even while he's not been as active, his line was 33.5. He went for 83. And then you got Devin Neal. His line was 17.5. The backup, he went for 22. Josh Jacobs' line was at 49.5. He went for 87. You see why I like the rushing a lot better than the receiving for McCaffery, even though he hasn't been going ham every game like he did in the past. We got James Cook. His line was at 71.5. He went for 216. Now we're getting into the ladders discussion because that's why I like McCaffery and Brian Robinson Jr. For their rushing yards. I think they can both hit that top tier, and we're sitting at 180 for them to cash that. James Cook did it by himself, 216. Breece Hall didn't get it done. Isaiah Davis did. So yeah, the Jets, we don't really care. The Jets are a mess, but yeah, the Christian McCaffrey rushing yards looks great. And we know he's capable of it. I think his line was at 120, we said, so on ladders. So yeah, back here against Atlanta, he went for 129, 106 against the Giants. Now these two are soft matchups, rushing yards wise. Cardinals are starting to look like a better matchup for rushing yards, but they're actually a pretty solid defense. And they're ranked 18th, but I think they're even a little bit better than that. Cardinals defense is legit. I think they're just below like the mark of being super solid, but they're kind of a thing of their own. I think very different look than teams get week after week. All right, Tetairoa McMillan. So it's set on his receiving yards right now. We know he just popped off for 130. Let me double check here just so I know exactly what we're talking about. Let's take a peek at this one more time. So Tetairoa's ladders line, 120 was the top end, just to make sure. Yeah, Christian McCaffrey was 120. Okay, so Tetairoa McMillan. Let me get back to my main screen here. So yeah, he just eclipsed this last week against Atlanta. And I mean, this dude he's a stud rookie. And I think he's even better than the hype that he's currently getting personally. This matchup against San Francisco is beautiful. 27th in receiving yards allowed just to wide receivers. 165 a game is what they're putting up. And then overall, are they letting running backs get to work as well? Yep. About almost 100 receiving to running backs. So 256 overall. So they're 26th in rank overall receiving yards, specifically to wide receivers. They're 27th. So we love that. And let's go down here and see. Yeah, look at all the green. Wide receivers are just cashing against San Francisco. I mean, that game, Michael Wilson, who we took yesterday, and he went nuts again. But Michael Wilson went for 185 receiving yards alone against San Francisco when his line was at 44.5. Greg Dortch in the same game, 19.5 was his line. He went for 66. And then you got Xavier Weaver, who is just like practice squad guy who's getting called up because Marvin Harrison Jr. was out. 9.5 was his line. He went for 15. So these guys went for what? I mean, I don't even need to totally do the math, but we're talking 260-ish, I'm guessing. Yeah, 240, 251, 261, 266-ish. Yeah, so why can't the Panthers do that tonight? I think the Panthers wide receivers are better than what we got here with Weaver and Dortch. I think Dortch is decent, but none of these guys are big play guys except for Michael Wilson. So yeah, staying on track here. So Tetairoa, yeah. Now let's talk about the receptions on PrizePicks. I like it. He had 8 receptions last week. We know he's capable of it. It's going to be a volume thing, but we know that we've got somewhat of a close game, 7.5 point spread, and we've got a high over under 49.5. So they're expecting it to be able to be just like an offensive shootout, which is going to make tonight a lot of fun. But yeah, look at this down here. Look at all these receptions that wide receivers are cashing against San Francisco. Michael Wilson, who we were just talking about, he had 15 receptions. His line was at 3.5. 15. Xavier Weaver had 2. Greg Dortch had 6. He also had 6 targets. He went 6 of 6. So 3.5 was his line. You got Devontae Adams. He went for 6 when his line was 4.5. Wan'Dale Robinson, his line was 5.5. He went for 9. All these guys are cashing. Darius Slayton in the same game. Xavier Hutchinson and Jaden Higgins both cashed theirs. So I'm going to be taking on PrizePicks the receptions here for Tetairoa, but I do like his receiving yards too. I think that's probably cashing as well. I like his fantasy score. And I think he maybe gets in the end zone. Let's look. Just in case you take the fantasy score. He had 2 touchdowns last week. Matchup, San Francisco is allowing about 1 touchdown a game. We already said they haven't had a bye week, so that's accurate. 1 touchdown a game to wide receivers. Then overall 2.7. So yeah, this is going to be fun, guys. All right. Next up, we got George Kittle. So we took the fantasy score on PrizePicks, and they're not giving us a George Kittle option on ladders. Otherwise, I would have probably thrown that in there, maybe instead of Brian Robinson. But yeah, we're taking the fantasy score. Let's see, receptions wise, if you wanted to pivot to that, if you don't have fantasy score available for your platform, 17th in receptions allowed are the Panthers, about 5.4. I could be wrong, but I don't think guys necessarily. Yeah, see, it doesn't look that good on recent props, but are we dealing with some bums here? Like guys that don't like my video type of bums, or are we dealing with studs? We actually have some studs in here. So Tucker Kraft, 4.5 was his line. He only got 2. Dalton Kincaid only got 1. His line was at 3.5. Dawson Knox, same game. But some of this could be how good they are on defense against tight ends. Some of it could just be game plan too. You know, we know that James Cook, we talked about how he went over 200 yards in that game. So were they throwing the ball to the tight ends that much? Maybe that is why these guys weren't cashing, you know, a different circumstance versus just a solid defense. Let's take a look at receiving yards for Kittle in case you guys want to look at something else. So yeah, back-to-back games with at least 67 receiving yards. So that's the demon. What's his actual line set at? Outlier is not picking it up right now. Probably somewhere around that range, but the matchup is solid for receiving yards for tight ends. It opens up quite a bit. 25th in receiving yards allowed to tight ends, about 65 yards a game. Overall, they're 13th, so it is a little bit of a soft spot. Jumps all the way to 25th from 13th. So tight ends should be able to thrive a little bit receiving yards wise. That just means they're getting deeper catches or they're getting yards after the catch. So Juwan Johnson, we know he cashed his receptions in this game, but he also went for 92 receiving yards. His line was at 35.5. So yeah, George Kittle receiving yards, depending on what it is, I think he's going to be involved. But if you can get the fantasy score, that's where it's at, because Brock Purdy loves throwing him touchdowns. Yeah, he's got 3 touchdowns in the last 2 games. Things have been turning up a little bit. That one was against LA, 2 against Arizona, and they're middle of the road with touchdowns allowed. Carolina is to tight ends, but again, it could be because other positions are just running all over them, or wide receivers are catching touchdowns. But 2.5 touchdowns allowed per game, ranked 13th. Let's see. So Juwan Johnson, man, that was a big game. If that's all the same game, so he had 90 plus receiving yards. I think it was 6 receptions and a touchdown. So he had a big one there. Yeah, so let's just see here. Let's just go fantasy score once again. So yeah, back-to-back weeks, 23.4, 24.7. Now he's got a solid matchup. And George Kittle, yeah, it's only pulling up a couple fantasy scores as of late. George Kittle, though, he's definitely a traditional tight end, good blocker, but he's a great pass catcher too. But they do feed him quite a bit. I would say he's probably, him and McCaffery are the top pass catchers. So, what wide receiver is really a dominant wide receiver? They've got talented guys like Juwan Jennings, and they've got, what's his name? The dude who got shot. I can't remember it right now. It's probably down here. Let's see, we'll go targets. Now, whatever. It's right on the tip of my tongue. I can get there. You guys already know. You're sitting there yelling at the screen. Bro, it's this dude. It's this name. It's going to be Ricky Pearsall. Okay, yeah. Christian McCaffrey leading by a lot in targets. And where's Kittle at on here? So Kittle's right around there with Pearsall, but Pearsall hasn't played many games, so maybe he will get some good love from Brock Purdy tonight. Pause on the target share, that is. So I think Pearsall could be sneaky if he gets fully healthy. He might get a lot of targets. All right, so Rico Dowdle. Let's wrap it up here. I'm going receiving yards. I wish I could get receiving yards on ladders. We know he's capable of having huge games rushing the ball, so I'm comfortable taking that on ladders. We saw the 206 game against Miami, 183 against Dallas. This was when both of those defenses hadn't made adjustments yet. Miami's actually made some good adjustments on defense, and we know Dallas went out and got some key players to bolster their defense. But yeah, he put up 130 against Green Bay. That's solid. But for PrizePicks, I like the receiving yards because bro's been getting involved. He's a great pass catcher. And I traded Rico away in Dynasty because I really wanted Alec Pierce for the long haul, and I've got a ton of good running backs, but it still breaks my heart. I love Rico. And I was the truther, but I had to let him go to get the piece I wanted. But yeah, 55 receiving yards last week against Atlanta on a bunch of receptions. 5 receptions, 7 targets. If we look at San Francisco overall, we talked about the receiving yards, 256 a game to running backs, 22nd. So 33.5 is what they're averaging with the receiving yards. We're taking this at 17.5. I'm absolutely going to make a demon slip with this. Look at all this. Everybody's cashing their receiving props, running back wise. You got Bam Knight, Amari DiMarcado, both of those guys cash theirs. Kyron Williams. Now, if you see the consistency of all these guys cashing, how many of these guys really have huge days receiving? Kyron's capable. Tyrone Tracy, totally capable. But everybody is cashing their receiving yards. And Rico just put up 55 last week against Atlanta, right? Isn't that who it was? Yeah. Who's ranked 11th in receiving yards allowed to running backs. So I think that the 17.5 is an absolute smash. And I think that you could bump this up. I would take it all the way up to 24.5, maybe make a wild YOLO if they've got a 39.5 option. Why not just see? He's got a soft matchup, and 7 targets last week. Bijan went for 52. His line was 35.5. Woody Marks 49 when his line was 16.5. There's only one miss here, and that's Tyler Algier, and he probably didn't get any targets in that game. So yeah, I'm loving it. Okay, let's talk real quick about the other 2 ladders plays. So we'll go back to Tetairoa here. You guys got to get on ladders if you haven't. It's a lot of fun, especially NFL Sunday. You just make a bunch of slips, and your high end multiplier is 1,000x. So you don't have to go crazy with it. You put $1 on it. Put $1 on it. Have some fun with it. If it cashes, made $1,000. So yeah. Okay, Tetairoa. So let's talk about Xavier Legette. We'll go here real quick. So yeah, nothing too crazy. But he had 83 yards last week against Atlanta. Like we said, 11th in receiving yards allowed. Let's look at the targets. So he had 8 targets. Bryce Young is real close. Bryce Young is high draft capital. Obviously, I think he went number 1, right, over CJ Stroud. Now it's kind of looking like, those guys are in the same ballpark. Bryce, there's arguments in some regards that Bryce may have been the right pick now because, he got benched. He wasn't playing well, and he took it like a champ and got better, kept a great attitude, cheered for his teammates, cheered for guys that were starting over him. And he's totally got it locked in now. And it's not perfect, but he's on the right track here. So yeah, Xavier Legette, 83 yards last week. Like we said, 8 targets, 4 receptions. We love the matchup here. We know that the 3 of these wide receivers can absolutely get this done together. Like this line with all of their high tiers on ladders, it's not like, impossible at all. I would say there's a good chance. So Jalen Coker, who is really talented, and he's not in the news a lot, doesn't have like a whole lot of hype about him, but this dude is good. He's really good. He's a decent sized, fast, good catcher, like good hands, wide receiver. He put up 52 against Atlanta last week, and 4 targets, 4 receptions. Yeah, like look at all this. So to get started, because he was coming off an injury this year. So to get started, he was actually, some of this is from last year. So yeah, let's start from 10-19. So yeah, when he came off the injury, he had 2 targets, no receptions. But since then, he's had 2 missed catches on 4, 7, 11. So yeah, 9 of 11 since then. And this is not someone that we need to go absolutely crazy. We only need him to get 60 yards to hit the top tier. So he went for 52 last week. He should be able to do better this week. And guys, wide receivers are cashing their lines here. So that's going to do it for ladders. Let's jump into some bonus plays real quick. Do not forget to like my video, guys. Hook me up. All right. So don't stress, I gave you pivots for Christian McCaffrey. If you don't want the fantasy score, it's set really high, so they're not going to like it on the optimizer because the odds makers have it lower on other platforms. 24, the optimizer is saying this is steep. So 56.31% odds to hit the under, minus 128. It's full point PPR on PrizePicks though too. You got to keep that in mind. On platforms like Underdog, they go half point PPR. I think I don't know if DraftKings is like full point or half point. I don't remember, but some of that, is why the lines are different too. This looks to me, if I had to guess, that all these platforms are half point, and PrizePicks, it's about the right adjustment if you just added the extra receptions. But I think he's getting in the end zone, and I'm taking it over. So George Kittle, 5 receptions, they like it under on PrizePicks, 54.42, and that's because it's at 4.5 on literally every other platform. So people have been taking the over, but we did talk about not a whole lot of tight ends recently have been going crazy on receptions, but George Kittle's a different situation. I think 5. I think he's good for a push personally. Chuba Hubbard, longest rush under 7. Yeah, because Rico is absolutely taken over this backfield. 53.89% odds to hit the under. Brian Robinson Jr. over 24.5 rushing yards. Yeah, there's another solid play. I think he's going over that tonight. And obviously, I think that with what these with what these running backs have been able to do to Carolina, I think that both he and McCaffery could cash that ladders for us. But 24.5, I'll take that all day. 53.89% odds to hit the over, minus 134. You got Brock Purdy pass plus rush yards, 264.5. They like it over, 53.24%. Bryce Young fantasy score, absolutely, 13.5. He's going over that. They like him for an interception tonight. Yeah, maybe he makes a little mistake. There's going to be a lot of volume in this game, so more opportunities for something to go wrong. They like him to get an interception, 53.06% odds to hit the over. We're going to wrap it up here with Bryce Young pass attempts over 31.5. I like it for the same reason. I think it's going to be a high volume game. We're going to jump into some underdog now. And if you guys want the optimizer for yourself, code Backdoor, you can get this tool, you can plug it in. It's great, especially 30 minutes before game time. You'll have these killer plays popping up that are gone in like 5 minutes or less. We've had some that the optimizer found that were like minus 1,000, minus 750, 850. Such a good deal that we had one for MLB that everyone in our Discord, as soon as we saw it, we like shared it and everyone like went and locked it in, and then PrizePicks wouldn't even let us play it. It was that good. They're just like, we're going to refund your money, but you don't get to play this. It's like, that's not cool. You shouldn't be allowed to do that. But yeah, code Backdoor. We'll get you 25% off all the way up to a year if you want. Just lock it all in. I'm just going to quickly set it to just tonight's game because we want to compare Underdog, see what's looking good on Underdog versus PrizePicks and other platforms. So yeah, you can fine tune what props are coming up here, what plays based off team, and it covers esports, everything, golf, tennis, everything. Okay. So they like Rico Dowdle under 15.75 fantasy score, 54.44%. And again, PrizePicks, it's at 16, and PrizePicks is full point PPR. He had 5 receptions. So I get why it's not liking the over for this, because that is pretty inflated for a half point PPR. So they like it under on Underdog, 54%. Christian McCaffrey under his fantasy score, 20.5. Interesting. So maybe the optimizer is accounting, because I was talking about those lines earlier. I was saying full point versus half point PPR. It's given us different lines for this now. So, but yeah, they don't like it either way. They think it's too steep, but I don't think it is personally. 54.36% to go under, 20.55 fantasy score. George Kittle under his fantasy score, 12.35. 54.8% odds to hit the under. Well, Kittle's fantasy scores, I think, what do we say? We got like 13-ish. So yeah, that is kind of high if it's half point PPR. Brian Robinson Jr., same line for his rushing yards. If we're playing on Underdog, can get it at 24.5. I think it's a smash. George Kittle, you're getting his receptions at 4.5. So yeah, if you're going to take it on either platform, go to Underdog for the receptions line. Christian McCaffrey under his rushing yards, 72.5. We got it at what, like 60? I think we got it at 69-ish on PrizePicks. I still think he's got a good chance to go over that. Bryce Young pass attempts, same line, 31.5. They like it over, 53%. Christian McCaffrey rushing yards. Is this showing us the same thing twice? I think it is. Must be making a mistake here. Let me just refresh here. Could be my computer freaking out a little bit. No, it's on there twice. Okay. That's on DG then. Tetairoa McMillan under his fantasy score. A lot of unders. It does seem like their fantasy scores are pretty inflated, but this dude just went for 33. I'm not taking that under. No thanks. Brock Purdy over his rushing yards, 9.5. Yeah, it's at 10.5 on PrizePicks. I think that, yeah, Brock, we'll go on heaters with Brock where we're taking his rushing yards every game sometimes. You know, he's probably close to 100% at this point health-wise, but before he went down, we were cashing the rushing yards all the time. He's actually a pretty good mobile quarterback when he needs to be. Tetairoa McMillan over his receiving yards, 65.5. Same line on PrizePicks, 52% odds to hit the over. Brock Purdy fantasy score under 19.45. Christian McCaffrey over his receiving yards of 45.5. So there you go. I know it was one of the hot plays is his receiving yards, 52.47%. It's up at 48.5 on PrizePicks. And that's the thing with the ladder slip. You can always make one with his rushing and one with his receiving, like make a couple slips, throw $1 on it, see if you can win $1,000. Because yeah, I mean, he's going to do something tonight, right? And that those low lines, we're good to go. Like with the ladder slip, if none of those guys, I mean, maybe there's a chance that Jalen Coker or Xavier Legette just don't get any love, but I think that those guys are all going to at least hit their low line. I think we're locked in for 2.5x on the ladders at least, if not 10x. George Kittle over 56.5 receiving yards. Yeah, we talked about the receiving yards look better than the receptions for George. 51.89% odds to hit the over. Bryce Young, longest rush, 5.5. Yep, that's low. 51.87%. We're going to do a couple more and then we'll get out of here. Rico Dowdle over his rushing yards. That's what we want to hear. 74.5%, at least for the ladders play. It's not even pulling up his rush yards on PrizePicks. I'm sure it's on there, but Optimizer's not grabbing it right now. I think his receiving yards are where it's at, though. It's so low. Again, Demon. I'm going with the Demon slip on there. All right, we're going to call it there, guys. Code Backdoor if you want this for yourself. Take advantage of it. And then I think I probably told you, but for Outlier, where you can really dive into the details, get all the juice there about the likelihood of a play to go over or under, try it for free down below. There's a link. And then don't forget, sign up with any of my codes and hit me in the email and I'll get you a free month in our premium Discord as a thank you. But have fun, guys. NBA videos down below as well. So I'm going to definitely be mixing up some slips tonight, a little NBA, NFL action. But I hope you guys have a great Monday. Enjoy this game. Hit me in the comments if you have any questions and I'll catch you in the next one.